Welcome to Torah Suites Podcast Episode 3. Thank you so much for listening and watching and joining us. This podcast is sponsored by Moshe Chaim Gutman in honor of his grandson's birthday, Ezra Menashe Cohen. He should have an amazing birthday, to 120 with success and health and all the good brachas. So in this podcast, I want to start off with a joke, actually. This aspiring actor calls his agent. I'm reading the joke because I want to get it right. And he calls him from the set of his first film. And he's playing the lead role for the first time in his career. He says, "How's it going?" the agent asks. And the guy says, "It's amazing. The director told me that my performance is making him consider 2 films with me." "2?" the agent replies. "Yeah," the actor says, "my first and my last." Hollywood is filled with a lot of aspiring actors. As kids, we have dreams and aspirations, who we want to be. Yet, as we get older, what ends up happening is that the reality of life kicks us in the face, and we slow down, and we stop dreaming, and we stop aspiring, and we stop wanting, and we end up getting caught up with life, and we don't dream big anymore. Yet, if you ask any employer, they will tell you that having an employee, a worker that aspires, is the most important thing. As one employer actually said, "I value employees who continually show me that they have a thirst for knowledge, but taking the time to learn new skills that could be benefiting for the company." Very important point. In this week's Parsha, we see the value of aspiring so clearly. We see that Yaakov Avinu passes by the Beis HaMikdash, and he was on his way to Haran, and he forgets to pray there. And he almost gets to Haran, and then he remembers. And basically what Hashem does is he makes him go back there in a twinkling of an eye, moving mountains. Or he actually brings the Beis HaMikdash to him. Kvitzas Haderech, pretty cool way to travel. In the blink of an eye, he was back to the Beis HaMikdash. Now, Hashem doesn't like to do miracles. We know that. If he can avoid miracles, he doesn't do them. So why didn't Hashem just remind Yaakov as he was going to, daven? Why didn't you daven at the place, at the Beis HaMikdash? Why didn't he remind them that? This is a question that Rabbi Zev Lev of Mashav Matisyahu asks. And he answers the following answers, so beautiful and so clear. If you don't aspire, nothing is going to help. Until Yaakov Avinu actually wanted, until he aspired, nothing helped. His davening wouldn't have had any consequences. And once he aspired, then Hashem was ready and willing to move mountains for him. So from here we know when there's a will, there's a way. Rabbi Lev, who shares this insight, shares a story of a person who was davening to Hashem for 20 years. "Hashem, please let me win the lottery." Morning, day, and night, he was praying, begging Hashem, please. And finally the angels came to Hashem and said, "We had it. Hashem, just please let him win the lottery already. He's so frustrated. He's a nice guy. Maybe you just help him." And Hashem said, "I'd love for him to win the lottery, but he has to go out and get a ticket and buy a ticket first." So this insight is so true. Very often we might have an aspiration, we might desire and wish for something, but what are we doing about it? We should make the first step, and we know that when we make the first step, Hashem is going to take it from there. He will move mountains for us. He will do anything possible for us to succeed in our goals, as long as we, number 1, have that wish, have that desire, and number 2, do something, even small, something about it to make us get to that point. So that's been our podcast. Please send us feedback. Sponsorships are available. We love to hear from you, and wishing you a beautiful Shabbos. I'm Mendel Berlin, TorahSuites@gmail.com. Shabbat Shalom.